I think the way we get hurt is by having, for instance, expectations. So in my understanding, the expectations are in a sense inevitable in a relationship, but they become hurtful when you have that basic expectation or sort of gut level belief that the love that you're experiencing comes from that person or that situation, that you're depending on them for that. And then of course you want to control them, you want to make it last, you want to you want all kinds of stuff, right? And with that you go about killing the love. Because now you want something that's not love. So when we can recognize, and this is part of the practice of what we're doing here with heart sourcing, that the source of whatever love we have ever experienced and will ever experience arises from here. So when you had this moment with your father, that's wonderful. Your father was there, and that gave you a situation that allowed you, it sort of primed the heart, it allowed you to let that presence, that wonderful feeling of what you are, arise, and you were able to fully experience it, or experience it to some extent, right? But it always comes from here. But we get confused because we have all this mythology, the way we're raised, oh, the perfect person is going to come, and this and that, and it's always as though something from outside comes into us, and then of course we become addicts, and we have to make sure that we have our supply. And that causes a lot of trouble. Yeah. And the work is to find the source here where we become completely independent. If your source is here, then it's a matter of cultivating your access to it, so you're not dependent on situations. If nobody's there loving you or no great situation, you can still have that heart, and you can still tune into it and nurture yourself from there. And be open to anything that comes, and actually be able to love everyone without attaching yourself, without sort of strangling the love immediately after it happens, which is what we do with these expectations. There is an indicator that always works. It's called stress. When you have a relationship with somebody and you feel stress, see what it is that you're expecting. What it is that you think should be different in this moment. About them, about you, whatever. You're not fully present. And when you're present, there's no judgment. You can love what is in that moment. But if there's stress, it shows you where your work is. You have an expectation, you have a judgment, you have a cloud of feelings move through, you don't even know what it is. Now we have the different skills for that. And we need to recognize, not to push this away or say, oh, this is terrible, or I'm flawed, but recognize, oh, there's a lesson coming, can I just learn it? All these things are lessons. This is Earth School. We're all not well. We're all mentally ill. So we find those things, and those moments of stress in relationships are fantastic. This is why it's so great to have some significant other who you did this crazy thing with, to really open your heart to that person. And then of course in no time they really instinctively get to know your buttons. And they're going to push them. And that is wonderful when you know how to get free of those buttons, of those reaction patterns. You need somebody to push them. Otherwise you don't know they're there. You're just going to live with them your unenlightened life. So the best thing you can have is somebody who's really challenging.